Marie. I believe that every one of us is born with a purpose. No matter who you are, what you do, or how far you think you have to go, you have been tapped by a force greater than yourself to step into your God-given calling. And I also believe that each one of us has an essential role in the whole of humanity. You see, the purpose of me creating Antoinette Marie Speaks is to offer the wisdom of experience from visionaries, artists, teachers, and trailblazers who have walked this road before you and who have shared their inspiration and lessons with me. So let's go. Let's take this journey together and let's discover the purpose for your life on this earth. This is Antoinette Marie Williams. Well, I want to say good evening to each and every one of you on today. I hope that your day went according to plan or even better. I am Antoinette Marie Williams, and I just want to say good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are in the world on today. Thank you to my Facebook and YouTubers. If you haven't subscribed to YouTube, take the opportunity to go ahead and do that. That would be helpful. Good evening, Vaniqua. You are very, 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 very welcome. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be doing this on Thursdays, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So how was your week, Vaniqua? Dr. Vaniqua? I hope that everything that you asked God for, Most High, the great I am, that you got exactly what you asked him for. So today, and again, share this post, invite your, as Anthony would say, your top 5. I'm just going to push you and say your top 10 to this. I probably will be on here for less than an hour. I will be on here for less than an hour on today. And we are speaking about purpose living. And we're going to speak about wellness on today because I think that it's very important. So many of you perhaps have heard. If you have not heard, maybe this may be the first time that you have heard of that. I'm going to turn me up a little bit. If you hear that little crackling noise, just push it out of your mind. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a post that I posted just recently on the passing of Miss USA 2019, Chesley Christ. I think that's how they pronounced her last name. And when I heard about this, at first it was almost unbelievable until I began to read some of the information that the coroner had posted on yesterday. And I just want to say to anyone that is hearing me or under the sound of my voice, if you are or you know someone that is suffering, and I do say suffering, from any type of depression, anxiety, anything such as that, please talk to someone. When I was doing a little bit of pre-work for today, I was reading about what's called high functioning depression. I never even knew that there was such a thing called high functioning depression. And there were a lot of things that were on there, a lot of check boxes that I could say literally in my life, I have been depressed just from some of the things that I saw on there. And so today As you hear me type, um, go ahead again and invite someone to this. I want to say this in full disclosure. I am not a medical doctor. I am a pastoral. My background is in pastoral counseling. My master's degree is actually in that. And I am a master Reiki practitioner. That is not a medical doctor. I am not a therapist, but I am a human being. And when I heard about Miss Chesley, it made me really think. It actually provoked me in so many different ways. And I remember even in one of my books, the Level Up book, I talk about this Superwoman Syndrome, right? And some of the things that this young lady went through, um, whew, I tell you, it resonated when I wrote that book in 2019, speaking about my experience in corporate America. And people that are not in corporate America also suffer or go through, I want to say go through depression, because I believe on the other side of depression that you have to go through it in order for you to live well and to heal. And so, as I was looking at some of the information concerning depression and high functioning depression, people can be depressed and inside know that they are, but a lot of times people will just say, just get over it. Never say that to someone that is actually suffering from depression. And even, you know, even individuals that are high functioning individuals that are going through depression, those people can hide it really, really well. They also have some negative thoughts and things such as that. But I want to just say to you on today, if you get an opportunity, I'm not going to go through that entire thing about high functioning depression, but I did want to mention that because I felt that it was my due diligence to speak about this, and particularly coming from my own personal background as a high functioning individual. I remember when I was in therapy, my therapist told me as I was going through my divorce, my therapist said that I was a hyper functioning individual. And there were a lot of things coming at me, but I was just going through them, and a lot of that is just you trying to protect yourself. So if you don't have a trusted family member or a friend or a professional, I definitely want to say reach out. I'm going to put the national suicide prevention number. I'm going to put that inside of the chat. And so it can be on Facebook, social media forever, because I think that it's important. Many times people just need someone to talk to, not all the time. For me personally, I was never diagnosed clinically with depression, but I knew I was going through a hard time, right? And so even if you're going through a hard time, I think that it is important for you to realize that and speak to someone, right? And sometimes you just have to recognize that you need help and a support system, and that's more than okay, right? That's really, really more than okay. And a lot of times depression isn't always obvious. A lot of times you'll hear people say, well, well, I didn't know that you were depressed. Well, sometimes you don't know. And people a lot of times don't know, don't want you to know, right? That they're going through something. Um, and in fact, some people go to great lengths to hide their symptoms of depression from people that they are actually around every single day. And many times people will conceal the problem so well that they themselves may not even really truly recognize what's going on. And so that's why it is really, really important for us to have this conversation. And I'm going to have it because I believe that it is important. One of the things I want to say, I'm getting all my information from a place called healthline.com. These are state therapists. They have a newsletter. Mental Health of America also has really great information. But I want to just give you a couple of the symptoms where people talk about of the symptoms of and I just lost my entire page. But some of the symptoms. And let me just scroll down here. I want to say hello to everybody that's coming on. I appreciate you being on here. I know today is a little bit different, but it is important for us to laugh and have fun. It's also important for us to speak about things, what I call matters of the heart, right? Those things are very, very important. And so that's what we're doing today. We're talking about um, depression, and particularly high functioning depression. If you have an opportunity, as I said before, I am not a licensed therapist. Um, I do have a master's degree in counseling, which has not that is not a clinical degree. So if you really want to have someone to speak to, and you don't have individuals where you believe that you're close to, I want to say you are more than welcome to our tribe at ATBA, right? And be able to speak to someone there. Sarari is an actual licensed therapist. And if you, Beniqua or someone else that's in our community, um, if you have an opportunity, if you could kind of chime her in. I'm going to see if I can connect with her as well. But I want to read some of these things. Hey, Kimberly, I appreciate you being here. Kimberly says we have to break the cycle of being ashamed of getting help for mental illness. You're absolutely, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. I think what we have done many times is that we have stigmatized um, depression and anxiety. I'm going to put in the chat a couple things that on here. We have stigmatized um, depression and people that suffer from depression. And that's really the reason why people don't talk about it. That's one of the reasons. Stop by saying hello. Hey, Ryan. That's one of the reasons why people don't talk about it. That's one of the reasons why people hide what they are going through, is because many times they are stigmatized, and we are taught so often, and particularly as women and men, to be strong. It doesn't take all of that. You're going to get over it. And many times, beloveds, it's not that easy. And so that's the part that I want to just let you know that it's okay. There we go. I just want to let you know that it is okay for it not to be okay, right? Just want to let you know that it's okay for it not to be okay. Um, I would say this to anyone: if you are an individual and you have gone through anything that's traumatic, whether it's a death of a family member, whether it's a death of a marriage, whether it's um, something that has happened with your business or your career, or you lost your job, or anything that is affecting, the heart of you, there are times where you need to speak to someone about it. You got to speak to someone about it. And so tonight I am destigmatizing mental health and giving us some tools and some strategies on how to be able to recognize if someone that you love is perhaps going through, right? Going through depression or any type of mental health symptom disorder. And I'm going to find a better word, because I really don't like the word disorder, but it does disorder your lifestyle. So one of the things, and I'm just going to go through a couple, I put them already in the chat, is that the sadness is persisting, longer than 2 weeks. Someone is frequently crying, or a big big drop in self-esteem. They're losing interest in things that were once important. They may have some weight gain or weight loss, some fatigue, a lack of energy, and loss of looking at their problems and attention, having problems concentrating or even in memory, right? And sometimes it can look like just sadness. It can look like sadness, but there's a personality difference, right? When somebody is a high functioning person that is going through depression. And so if you get an opportunity, you're very welcome, Ryan. If you get an opportunity, one of the things that I wanted to just say was this about Miss Chesley, 30 years old. And you guys can read most of this in the paper, but I want to say it wasn't just about that she was Miss USA. Before she was Miss USA, she was an accomplished attorney. I don't know if people even knew that. She was an athlete. And so I'm saying this just to say it because a lot of times people don't believe that people that suffer from depression are active. A lot of times you hear people say, oh, you just need to get up and do something. Many high functioning individuals that suffer from depression are that high functioning. Yeah. So when I saw this on today, you're welcome, Kimberly. So when I saw this, and my mind and my heart and my spirit began to kind of think, and I was having a conversation with my husband about this, and there are going to be some things in your life that will provoke you to do things that you never thought that you would do. Earlier this week, I talked about a detour. And sometimes in life, you may believe that you have the vision already and you have planned it out to a T. On Monday, I'm going to do this. On Friday, this is going to happen. And then on Saturday, this is going to happen. And then 3 months from now, this is going to happen. You've planned it all out. I know. Believe me, I know. You've planned it all out. You've seen yourself doing it. It's looking really, really great. And then you get a detour. And in that detour, you're looking at yourself and you're like, what am I getting ready to do? Why? I didn't see the detour. Hey, Carol, why? Where did the detour come in? It wasn't in my plan, which basically is saying it wasn't, metaphorically, it wasn't. Why did my GPS tell me that? Sometimes in life, you have a detour. And another friend of mine said that she was really going through today. She had moved and relocated, and she said that she did not expect something that had occurred in her life to happen. And so what I know about life is that some of my greatest lessons have come from a detour. Yeah. Some of my greatest experience has come from a detour, because God knows what you need to experience or go through or to see in order for you to make sure that that dream, that vision comes to manifestation. Yeah. And so as I began to think about Miss Chesley, and the work that I'm doing now, and where I see myself in the next year, it will not be here on social media, not in this particular way, because I know through this young lady's life, not through her death, but through her life, of the great things that I must do. And so you'll be hearing so much more about that a little bit down the road. And so one of the things that I did was I went and I got a notebook. And so I want to just say a couple things. As I said before, welcome every single person that's on here. Invite 10 people. Let's just say 5. Invite 5 people, because I think this is a really needed and worth having conversation. So this is what I want to say to everyone. Mental health is something that you must devote yourself to every single day. I'm not speaking about, like some type of medication. If you are on medication, then take exactly what you're supposed to be taking, right? So don't, get involved in this conversation and be like, Miss Antoinette told me not to take my meds. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is this: do something for your mind every day. Every single day, do something for your mind. Whether that is reading, whether that is meditating, whether that is sitting in silence, whatever it is, do something for your mind, whether that's a crossword puzzle, whether that is some type of, I call it art therapy. That's what I think Miss Angelique's coloring books are. It's art therapy to me. Do something for your mind every day. Number 2, your body. Do something. Have some activity in your body every single day, whether that's walking, whether that's running, whether they're doing, some type of exercise. Beyond those 2 things, do something every single day to keep your mind and your body in motion, doing that every single day. And number 3, do something for your soul. I call all these, it's like this, it's a formula to good mental health. Go outside, enjoy yourself. I remember years and years ago, with my kiddos, I used to take my children out and we used to fly kites. Like, do something like that, because it helps you. It helps you in your lifespan. It helps you in your life course, right? You have to do it. We are human beings. We're not robots. I know there's a lot of artificial intelligence that's out there, but that's not who we are. That's not who we are, right? So take care of those particular things: your mind, your body, and your soul. And then number 4 is your spirit. You are a spiritual being, so you must take care of your spirit. Sometimes that might be even, of course, talking to God, the great I am. That's also, listening and singing songs that God can get glory in. Take care of yourself. And so my hope and my desire in my speaking today is that I pray that peace comes to you. Everywhere you are, peace shows up. Everywhere you go, love is already present. And then you bring in more love. Everywhere you go, it's there, because that's what we need. Listen, we have been in a COVID situation for over 2 years now. March 2020, March 13th, I'll never forget it. March 13th, 2020 is when they literally shut this country down. So we are fastly approaching 2 years. And I know it's difficult. Believe me, I know that it's difficult. And because it's difficult, I want to say love on yourself. That's one of the reasons why mental health is so important for you to take care of yourself. Because some of us, have been in the house and, maybe gone out here and there. And some of us got our groceries from Amazon and, we were doing all that. And we had not really been outside going places. And now that things are opening up, you still need to take care of your own mental health. It's your responsibility. It's our responsibility to take care of our own mental health. I believe that even today, and I pray that peace comes to you every place that you go. Every place that you put your foot to, that peace finds you there. And again, if you are just tuning in, you'll see in the chat, I put the National Suicide Prevention number, 1-800-273-8255. If you know of anyone that seems sad, that's having some emotional distress, please give them that number. That number is not just for if someone is contemplating suicide. It's a number that you can sit and have a conversation with if you are going through emotional distress. That's my dog in the background playing with his toy. Okay. Here's another thing. I want to kind of give you I think I wrote 8 particular things down, strategies on how you can be the best person for yourself. Number 1, I want you to always know that you are important. Every single day, tell yourself, Ryan, every single day you say, I am valuable. I am worthy. I am important. Every day, you must say that. Every day, say that. If you don't say it to yourself, why are we waiting for other people to say it? Right? That's number 1. Number 2, there's going to be a time in your life where you're just going to have to get off social media. You're going to have to ignore what other people are saying about you. As long as I have been doing this type of work, believe me, everybody does not agree with Antoinette Marie. Everybody don't even like Antoinette Marie. And that's okay. But there comes a point in your life where you're going to have to start ignoring how people feel about you. The most important question is how do you feel about yourself? That's one of the most important questions. Do you feel good about yourself? Because here's the thing, who has to live in your body? I don't have to live in your body. Shaniqua don't have to live in your body. John don't have to live in your body. Rexford don't have to live in your body. Laura don't have to live in your body. You have to live with you every single day. Every single day. So ignore what people are saying and thinking about you, right? I told one of my kiddos, I said, and they were talking about something that somebody had posted on social media. And I said, why do you keep going back to it? Stop going back to it. If you saw somebody say something negative and you know that it didn't, resonate with your spirit in a positive way, stop going back and reading it back and forth, right? Be better to yourself, right? Number 3, give yourself some time. Give yourself some time in the process. If you don't know how to come up with good self-care strategies, reach out to somebody like Carol Ruffin. She's a Reiki practitioner such as I am, and have some conversation. I think one of the best tools for social media is having the opportunity to be able to talk to someone without seeing them. But you know what? We can see people. Facebook has Messenger. You can video somebody from there. We got Zoom. We got all kinds of things. Gmail chat. We got all kinds of things. Utilize this platform to help you create strategies for self-care for your life. Number 4, believe this, no one is in charge or responsible for your happiness except for you. Not even your husband, not even your wife, not even your mother, not even your children, not even your dad. They are not responsible. If you are an adult, they're not responsible for your happiness. You are responsible for your happiness. You are responsible if you know that you're not feeling good and you have the capability of transitioning and doing something different. Sometimes for me, I have a cousin that stays in Dallas. And one of the things I said to her, I said, the next time I come there, I just want to sit and watch a movie. Just sit and watch like one of those long movies, like The Color Purple or something. I don't know. Sometimes it's just that. But you are responsible. My husband is not responsible for making me happy. He's not responsible for making me happy. I was happy before he came. Okay. Yeah. See, it's that part. A lot of times we are giving other people so much power. We're giving people so much power. And now it's time to take our power back. It's time to take our authority back and dominate our own lives. Some of us are trying to dominate our husbands, and we should be trying to dominate our own self. Your husband cannot make you happy. I don't care what he gives you. I don't care what she gives you. She cannot make you happy. And I will say it again, right for you, Kimberly. Listen, I was happy before he came along and got me. I knew I had to do that work. I knew I had to do that work for myself. And yes, I did. I had to go through some therapy, baby. But I knew that I had to go and make sure that I was happy for myself. Not even for my children. Not even for my children. That was number 4. Number 5, stop being around the same people that you know that don't sit right with you. If you know that, there's some people that you're just like, and somebody calls you and they're like, hey, you want to go to here, or you want to go out to here, you want to go out to eat, and you ask, okay, it's just going to be me and you, and they're like, no, it's going to be me, you, Jerry, Barry, I don't know, Mary, Deborah, and Deborah, and you don't, and sometimes it's not even that you don't like that person. You just know your energy is not conducive to her energy. Don't go out to dinner. Don't do it. What are you trying to prove? And who are you trying to prove it to? We talked about that piece in my third point. In my my second strategy. Ignore what people are thinking about you. So now when we're talking about strategy number 5, stop being in the same company of people that don't mean you no good. Or as my grandmother would say, don't mean you no good, never mind. You got to know that. Right? It's not about holding a grudge. It's just about sometimes, listen, I'll tell you this story. Y'all know I have a story. I remember when I was, I remember I had a little flashback. I remember when I was working for this company, and there was a person that every single time I saw her, literally my spirit would jump. And I'm not talking about like, John the Baptist jumped in Elizabeth's belly. I ain't talking about that glee. My spirit was like, what in the world? And every single time. And I had got to a point where I began to like question myself, like, is something going on with me? What is really happening here? And so I remember one time I saw her at a board meeting. And I just was like, ugh, what is it? And then I actually saw her not too long ago. And she came and she started having a conversation with me. And as she's talking, have y'all ever been in a situation? Let me lean in. Have y'all ever been in a situation where somebody is talking to you and you praying? If you have, just say, I understand in the chat. She was talking to me and all I could do was pray. And it wasn't no deep prayer. It was just like, God, help me not to say something crazy to this lady. God, help me to have a discerning spirit and what's going on. I'm telling you, I was doing that type of prayer. I really was. Her spirit, every single time I have encountered my transaction with her or whatever it is, I can promise you, my spirit would be like, You remember that first Jurassic Park movie where the guy that was at the desk and he had set like this timer and they tried to break into the timer and he was like, so when you experience those moments, trust those. moments. Trust that moment. Ryan says, also another tool I have used is Psychology Today, where someone can search for a therapist in their area. Great advice. Great advice, Ryan. I appreciate you, sir. You also talked about betterhelp.com. Listen, there's so many opportunities out here that talk to someone. Talk to someone. I want to just say that to you. If you prefer someone that is of melanin and a black therapist, they're black attorney, not attorneys, they're black, well, they're black attorneys too, but they're black African American therapists as well, right? So I had that moment in my life, and I was like, And so when I got back home that evening, I was like, God, and I was talking to my husband about this person and mentioning this person to him, and he was just like, you've never had a good vibe about this woman since you first saw her. I didn't. So my number five point to you is stop being in the company of people that you know don't mean you no good. Not even for some money. I know. I know many of us say, okay, I'm just going to have the contract and I'm not going to get in her way. If she don't get in my way, I'm not going to get in his way. If they don't get in my way, I'm just going to go in and get this bag and I'm coming out. Don't do it, because it never works that way. It's never an in and out situation. Okay. That's number 5. Number 6, I want you to stop overthinking everything. So just like the example I just gave you, when you know that your energy is not conducive to somebody else's, and then you try to rationalize it. That's what we do. We try to rationalize our involvement with a person, right? We're like, well, I don't know. I'm going to pray for the person, so maybe my eyes are dry tonight. Maybe I can just go ahead and, I done prayed, and yeah, prayer is great. But even in that prayer, don't you ask God for wisdom? And when God told you to leave a thing alone, leave it alone. Please leave it alone. You don't have nothing to prove to anyone. That was my strategy number 2. You don't have anything to prove to anybody. People still, listen, the great and wonderful Dr. Maya Angelou said, listen, when people treat you, I know y'all have heard the original saying, which she says, people will show you who they are the first time. Believe them. That is so true. That is so true. Right? So stop overthinking it. Like, oh, okay, well, I can make that person better. I can change them. I can make them change. Who? Beloved, we have problems with changing our own selves. How are you going to change someone else that you barely know, that you really know, that you see all the time, or that you don't see all the time? We have enough responsibility with this humanness that we have right now. We got enough responsibility. I'm not trying to change nobody but me. So I want to say this to the people that feel as though that they are so great and mighty and I can change this person. Listen, when they have told you what they like and you're going to try to change what they like, that's like, I'm not a pancake person. That's like somebody saying, well, okay, this pancake, I don't like pancakes, but I will eat it if I have to. But that's like you trying to convince me that um, uh, beets, just raw beets, are just, oh, they're so sweet. They're great. They're dynamic. You're not going to convince me of that. That's like somebody trying to convince me, catch this, come on now. That's like somebody trying to convince me that me living in Wisconsin is where I'm going to be for the rest of my life. No, ma'am, no, sir. I am preparing for the move. It has to happen. Because what God has told me to do, I cannot do it here. the niche of people that God wants me to interact with, I can't do it right here. And it's too cold here. So that's like you telling me, oh, you're going to love the cold weather. Baby, I done lived in cold weather for a long time. I still don't like it. Stop trying to change people. And stop trying to convince other people to change. Listen, you cannot convince other people that they need to change. People have to get to that understanding on their own. People got to get to that understanding on their own. You asked me how I found out, because I hadn't tried it. I have tried it. I have tried to change my children. I have tried to change my husband. He was a full-grown man before he met me. How am I going to change all that? I cannot change that. Even my children, I cannot change them. And here's the greatness. This is where you take the bricks off your back. God don't need you to change anybody. I'm going to say it again. God don't need you to try to change somebody else. Live kind. Be kind to other people. Be an example to other people. That's how you can help in the process. Because when people see you doing great things, I just truly believe it can be contagious. But you're not changing them. You may be influencing them. But we have problems with changing ourselves. Some of us got attitudes with people and we still hadn't changed our own attitude. So how are you going to change my attitude and you got a whole beam in your eye and you talking about my attitude? Okay, keep going. Number 7, got 2 more. Number 7, after you have stopped trying to change people and rationalize it and so on and so forth, I just want you to smile more. Just smile a little bit more. Just get out your car and just smile. Just wake up in the morning and smile. You use more muscle mass frowning than you do smiling. You actually feel better when you smile. Scientifically proven. Just smile more. Stand up in the mirror and just smile. Do a whole bunch of poses. Smile. Smile. And when you are walking down the street, when you are in the grocery store, can we smile at one another? Can we speak? Can we say hello? Can we say good afternoon? Good evening? Good morning? How are you? Beautiful day. Can we do that? Can we give a little bit of that to this planet Earth? Can we do that? That would be great. Think about it. If every single person on this planet, 7.5 billion, I want to say now, if everybody would wake up in the morning and say, good morning, beautiful. Good morning, gorgeous. If everybody would say that, I believe that all of that energy, I believe all that vibrational greatness, I believe that trees would start to just flap their leaves. I just really do. I really, really do. If we could just say that. If Mary J. Blige could say to herself, good morning, gorgeous. If she could say that, how about you say it? If you are a guy, you want to say gorgeous, say gorgeous. But you can say, good morning, handsome. Say it. The other alternative is for you to say something negative. But I want to say to you that you are significant. Number 8, my last one. I want you to stay active. Earlier, we talked about exercise, about the 4 formulas for great mental health. But in this space, I want you to always be moving. Be in motion, right? Be in motion. Don't get stagnated. Stay active. Stay in motion. Be doing something. Because this is what I do know. I had bought some Ezekiel bread, right? Mm-hmm. And when I bought that bread, I was really excited about it. It has probably 200 million seeds and plants and all kinds of stuff in it, right? And I like that type of stuff. My husband, he like, don't buy that bread for me, right? And I stopped eating it because then I went and got some other bread. And this is what I want to say to you. Anything that you don't move, it will sit and it will be dormant. So that bread, I didn't do anything with it. And what did it do? It molded. I had 4 pieces of Ezekiel bread, y'all, and it molded. And I had an attitude, a real attitude, because that bread was like $8 for a loaf. So I'm saying to you, stay in motion, not just physically, but your mental health, the way you think. I want you to keep that in motion. Who you're speaking to, they have to be a good seed in order for good things to come out of that. You got to know that whom you are speaking to, that those people are good seeds. Don't waste. The good book says don't cast your pearls among swine, right? I want to encourage you today that through this really quick conversation, that if that means that tonight you decide that you're going to call someone, one person, can you call one person that you haven't spoken to, or a person that you have spoken to, and just check on them? Can you just do that? Can you check on them and say, hey, I'm just checking on you. I didn't want anything. I just wanted to see if you were okay. Is there anything that I can do? You're going to be very surprised, because sometimes what happens is this, is that people will say, thank you, Vaniko, because you're right. We're still wearing masks, but people can see your smile through your eyes. Absolutely. I appreciate you. And people will say, no, I'm good, or I'm fine. Let me tell you what happened the other day. Listen, sometimes you just have to be there. Be there for that. You never, ever, we don't know what people are going through. We don't know what people are experiencing. On the outside, it looked like Miss Chesley was doing awesome. She was on television. She was an attorney. She was Miss USA. She lived on the 9th, I believe, floor. She went up to the 29th floor. So if we could do just one great deed, what I would say for us to do is to look at people and smile with our eyes, to look at people and say, hey, you can go before me in the line, to look at people. And when you're out to dinner, say, I just want to put, $30 on this person's dinner, $10, $5 on this person's dinner. When you're in the drive-through lane at wherever you want to be at getting food, maybe ask, like, what is the person's bill behind me? And they may say, oh, it's, $11.11. Some of y'all know, get that later. Say, can I just pay for their meal? Can we do that? Can we spread goodness? Can we do that? I have a friend of mine, Michelle Hardy. She talks so much about random acts of kindness. We call her the giving guru. This woman is fantastic. And she smiles so great. And she has a flower in her hair. And she has deep dimples. She's magnificent. Magnificent. Can we do that? You don't have to do it like Michelle Hardy. You don't have to do it like that. But can we just say, if you're getting gas, right? Can you just maybe give gas to the next person? Can we do that? And mean it from your heart. Thank you, Kimberly. Kimberly said, and mean it from your heart. When you ask if they need anything, people can sense when you don't mean it or doing it out of obligation. Absolutely. Don't make it feel like a burden when somebody calls you and say, hey, can I just talk to you for a second? Do you know how hard it was for them to even probably call you? Listen, we have to think about this differently. We do. We got to think about it differently. The reason, the purpose that God had created us. See, we were already, we already had this birthing. When we came down here on the earth, we were born here. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm just saying today, can we show kindness? Can we show the love of God? Can we show the love? You don't have to always try to prove to somebody that you care about them just by what you're saying. You can just say, hey, one of the greatest things that somebody did for me, maybe we can make this maybe go viral. I don't know. I'm not in it for that. I remember a friend of mine, and I know we don't do this hardly anymore, just for no reason. A friend of mine sent me a card, just a everyday card. And it was one of the greatest emotional experiences that I've had. And so I went in the mail and I'm looking at this card. See, we don't do stuff like that anymore. My grandmother, one of the greatest women that I've ever known, Miss Catherine Pruitt, she kept every single card that her children and her grandchildren gave her. Every one. I mean, she had bags and, books of just cards. So how about we do this as a challenge? How about we send someone a card, not electronic, get a stamp, and we just send someone a card and just say, hey, I just want to let you know I was thinking about you. I just wanted to let you know. And if you say, well, I'm not really into giving cards, if you say that, then hey, call somebody. We're okay with that too. We're okay with that too. I'm trying to get my card here. I knew I had it. I knew I had it. And so you see now how important that card was, is that I kept it here. That I kept it there. That's how important this card is. So maybe that's a challenge. That we say, you know what, I'm going to go to my nearest convenience store or my nearest wherever, and I am going to give someone a card. I'm going to mail it. I'm going to put, I don't know, stamps. I bought a whole bunch of stamps and I just haven't used them all, but I'm going to do this too. This is going to be my challenge. I'm going to send somebody a card. Just say, hey, I'm just here thinking about you. Good morning, gorgeous. How about that? I think that's beautiful and that's fascinating. I'm going to end with this. My goal in being here on social media and at any capacity is to do two things. To help people be better. And that's what I believe God would say, well done. And so because I have been inspired, provoked more, it's the better word, by Miss Chesley. Some people pronounce her name as Christ. I was told it was Christ, whichever it was. A 30-year-old woman, African-American mom. She had an African-American mom and a Caucasian father. And for this woman to be a accomplished human being, an attorney, an athlete, she has provoked something in me. And thank you, Kimberly. And so with everything that I have within me, as we go forward and as I go forward in life, this is my mantle. I want people to heal. I want people to live in peace. So it's hard to live in peace when you're broken. It's difficult to truly live in peace when you're hurting. I'm so grateful that I had to do the heart work. And I say this every single time I come on here and we have these type of conversations. I make it a point not to talk about anything that I don't know, nothing that I don't know about. And so if I'm talking about it, that means I have either gone through it, and it's not just book knowledge, right? And so my goal for the rest of my life, which I believe I'm going to live to, I'm over, well, at least 95. But my goal is to help individuals that need healing, to help individuals that are struggling with old trauma, to help individuals that have been hurt by whatever system. I am not a therapist. However, I am a person that has gone through a lot of emotional trauma and now I'm on that other side and I can say, good morning, gorgeous. And I'm grateful for what I went through because now I understand. I can see and recognize people that are hurting like that. So I don't thank God or some of the experiences that I have had because they were hurtful. But the good book says, in all things. It didn't say for all things. It says, in all things, be grateful. So in that, I am very grateful. You will not see me have deep conversations publicly about childhood trauma and things such as that. That's not my mantle. That's for other people. But that's just not my mantle. What my mantle is to say to individuals and get them to understand that healing is your birthright. It is your birthright. Peace is your birthright. Mental health or just health across the board, that is your birthright. Wellness, and that's what I'm calling it in totality. Wellness is your birthright. And that is my mission and my gift to humanity. And so very soon, I already have the vision written. That's why I'm holding this. See, when God is talking to you about a certain thing, at night, he don't wait until you got to go and get the pretty binder and the pretty journal. So, yeah, that's tape. And it's just like a sticky. And you can see that right there, 2022 idea. And sometimes you just got to go just like this, right? It ain't got to be fancy. And so this morning, 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, this was last night. See, I'm telling you what I know, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that those of you that believe that God has told you to do something great and magnificent, that you accept the call, that you answer the call, right? And for those of you that are on here, I'm just going to give you a little snippet. You better, because I haven't even This is all in the working. This is all in the working, y'all. I can guarantee it. And so God is showing me, and I am preparing a a loving touch. I'm going to just say that, a center that men and women, come on, God. So as I said that, God said, if you don't speak it, you must declare a thing. Even to me, God speak to me when I'm speaking to y'all. So he said to me, just that quick, you must declare a thing. And so I'm declaring a thing. I don't know necessarily the name. Uh, maybe that will be the name, Love and Touch. I really honestly don't know. But I know that that is what I will be doing. And so I'm asking for deep prayers and deep energy and deep vibration, because this is definitely something that is new for me externally, but internally it has been what I have always done. Come on, God. Now, come on, Jesus. It is what I have always done. I have always been that person. If some of this resonates to you, I'm just going to say, hey, you like, literally, I believe in good energy, all energy. So just raise your hand. And I really, truly believe everything that you have asked God for, everything that you have gone through, God is utilizing it. God is going to utilize it. And I never, ever saw this in this way. And so I say to Miss Chess Lee and her family that her life here was not in vain, because she provoked something within me, my spirit. And every single thing that I have ever done in my life, even as a child, even when people would come to me when I was would be ministering or preaching or so on and so forth, and they would say, wow, your hands, I feel energy in your hands are made to heal. I'd be like, okay. But I knew I just could not explain it. And a lot of times we think that we think that God is telling us to do things. We talked about last week. Sometimes we get stuck because we think that we are supposed to do it just like somebody else. We think that we're supposed to do it like somebody else is doing it. But what God has said to me today, come on, Jesus. I said 1 hour. Listen, this is the great thing about what and who God is. God, I don't have no time span. So if y'all just stick with me, I got a point here. Here's the thing. Sometimes we feel as though, I'll tell you my story. I felt as though all the time that I should be pastoring someplace. I never wanted to pastor because I had seen my stepfather pastor, and I had seen for the children to be treated like mistresses, and we were always on the sideline, right? So I never wanted that for my family, ever, 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 ever. Because that's how my brain was. I was thinking like, that's what I got to do. And then I got married. I got divorced, and that was like, ooh. And then I got married to um, my husband. And I was struggling with that thing, like, okay, whatever. But I always knew, even as a child, that God had set me aside. I always knew that I was chosen. I had always known that I was different. I would have people say to me all the time, "Oh, you are very peculiar. As a Black girl, you are very peculiar." I don't know what that meant, but I'm okay with it. And so I want to say this to some of you today. I know it seems like you're going against the grain. People told you should be doing this, and you should be doing this, and this is in your legacy, and your mama was a preacher, your daddy was and your somebody was a nurse, and that's mean you used to be a nurse, and yada yada yada. I'm going to say this to you: be who God has told you to be. Just be capital B, capital E. And so for all my life, I would wear my hair in head wraps a lot of time. And people, when I would go to the church, they'd be looking like, oh my God, what is she into? What is she into? Why? She has all that hair. Why would she wear her hair wrapped up? Because God was doing a thing, right? I told you before, you don't stop explaining yourself to people. You don't have to explain yourself to people. And I remember so many times, even as a child, I would go past certain people, and whether it was a mall or even at the church, I'd be like, oh, something is not right with that person. I felt something, I felt, and I would call, I said, I felt negative. I felt the negative vibe. I did not understand it. But now I totally understand it. I pray that you know who God has chosen you to be. That's my prayer. And so as we begin to evolve together, I'm grateful for the life of Miss Chesley. I'm grateful for her mother because that has provoked something within me. I call it my Noah. That's what I call it. And there were times where I was ashamed of the gift. I did not want people to know that I could hear certain things that they would think. I did not want people to know it. I struggled with it. I struggled with it. I wanted to just be, I'm a motivational speaker. And then as I would speak, to people, I would be hearing things that God would be telling me to tell people. I'd be like, oh no, they're going to think that I'm strange. Well, I knew I was very peculiar. And now it's a badge of honor for me. And I had a friend of mine that I was speaking to this week. I was sitting in my office. And doing what I do, which is what I'm doing now. And I literally saw her face. And when I saw her face, God began to speak to me. And I ended up calling this person this week. And I said to her, I said, I can't sit here and tell you that I don't know what you're going through, because I do. And I told her exactly what I'm saying to you all. I said, I was sitting in my office and I saw your face. And I could see her going through what she was going through. Now, before, I wouldn't even tell people that story because I was afraid of how people would perceive me. I was afraid of what people would call me. In the church, you're called a seer or a prophetess. In some other spectrum, people might say, oh, wow, you're celestial, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't have no name for it. I just know that God has called me to help through him, because it's not me, but through what God is doing, he is allowing for me to help people to heal. And that's what I'm here to do. I know without a shadow of a doubt that is the reason why I have experienced so much in my life. And here's the thing, lean in. I'm ready for the challenge. I'm ready. I think who said it? Y'all ready? I don't know who said that. Maybe Tiffany Haddish. I don't know. But I'm ready. And so now my goal is, thank you, God. My goal is to develop this in the way that God showed me. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek. Now, I'm a scriber. Y'all know I write a lot. And so here literally are my notes that I have from yesterday evening to this morning, as God was speaking to me at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, talking about this, right? And so what God began to show me was this particular place. I don't know. It is for men and women. So when the doors are open, we're going to have a reception area. And there's going to be a particular place for men that they can go and be healed. And a particular place, or to the left, is going to be for women and for them to heal. Because what I know for sure is that men and women don't heal the same way. They don't heal. The process is not the same. And so this sanctuary, I don't know why that word just came up in my spirit. I don't know. But this place, this safe haven, this citadel, right? This loving, healing center is going to be for men and women. So as men come in, because this is what we want. We want men to be better men. We want women to be better women. We want men to be better sons and husbands and uncles and friends. In the same way we want women to be better daughters and nieces and moms and grandparents. We want that part. And if I can, through with God's help, can do that part, if he gave me the vision and he gave me the purpose, I know that he's going to prepare the table. He's going to finance this. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I will say this. I know what else that God has shown me. I know that when it comes to wellness, holistic wellness, mind, body, soul, and spirit, that we can do it together. I know that God has already told me. Yep. Let me show it to you. So I love what God is doing. I love what God is doing. I love what God is doing. Here's my notes from 4:00 in the morning. Here. Structure, nonprofit, maybe LLC, I don't know, advertising, so on and so forth, board of directors, holistic health. Now I'm writing, right? I'm writing as I'm hearing God speak to me. So that's why it looks like, ooh, that's messy. Mind your own business. And so I'm writing and I'm writing and I'm writing. But I also want to say this. I cannot do this by myself. I know this. I need the partnership. I know it's happening. It's happening. It's already happening. But I want to show you this part. Because nothing that we go through, I've said this before. Some people come into your life for a reason. There's a specific reason. Some people come into your life for a specific season. Some people are there for a specific season. And some people are in your life for an entire lifetime. You have to know that. You have to know which one reason why people are in your life, right? And so my goal is always, God, give me the spirit of discernment that I can be able to discern, is this what you really want me to do? And if so, give me the tools to speak out of my mouth what you're asking. So here's my thing, right? So here are some of the things that God, our God, Most High, was saying to me this morning, 3:38 a.m. right here. Let me show you. Right here. Look at that. Reiki, spiritual, trauma, stress, grief, forgiveness, reunification, wellness, mindfulness, natural, restorative, safe, safe environment, clarity. Listen, when God has told you and has pressed upon you to do a thing, you'll get a book, you'll get a piece of toilet tissue if you need to write it down. The good book says, hey, Craig, the good book says, write the vision down. Isn't that what the, okay. Yeah. Okay. So my goal is to have a space where men and women can come together to heal. This is not a church. Let me say that for the record. God didn't show me that. A place. I think the church has done a lot. We're going to get some people that's going to heal from some church hurt. But God did not show me a church. God did not describe it to me in that way. That is not my mantle. It's not my purpose. But what he did say to me is that this is from him. And so today, what I want to do is I'm going to leave you with that. I was looking for a page because this is what I do know. I know that there are many people that I am connected to that have absolutely great ideas. They have great motivation. They are already innovative. And I'm just believing. I'm just believing. And so I want y'all to believe with me here, because this is my first time. I didn't even know I was announcing this, really. And it's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. Kimberly says, yes, we can. We just have to be open to it. Total and complete healing. Absolutely. Total and complete healing. Because if it's difficult for you to heal, it's also going to be difficult for your children to heal. Yes, we are no longer speaking about generational curses. We're speaking about generational healing, generational abundance, generational peace, generational greatness, generational being significant, generational knowing that you are honorable, generational good things. That's what we're speaking about. We can hear the other stuff along so many different lines talking about generational curses. They can speak about it. I'm speaking about healing. I'm speaking about wholeness. I'm speaking about what even wealth comes into that. That's what we're speaking about. That's what we're speaking about. I want to show you this just really quick. And again, remember I said to you all that when God does a thing, God doesn't, our timing is not like God's timing, right? And a lot of times we're tired. And was I tired at 3:00 in the morning? Absolutely. Very, very tired, right? But when you know that God has told you to do a thing, then what do? You do a thing. That's what you do. And it's not on me to know how the thing is going to happen. It's not on me to figure out how it's going to happen. It's not for me, because it wasn't my vision. It wasn't my mindset. It wasn't my thought. God placed it on me because I'm the human on the earth that he has decided to do this. But I want to show y'all this. This was yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry, this morning. Okay. Now just get over the messy handwriting. Y'all going to be okay. You're right. Write the vision and make it plain. Absolutely. Hey, John Moshi, I want to show you this. Okay, just really quick. So if you look here, I don't know if you guys can see that. This is what I have. Men's mentorship program. We might, on my board, we could have a medical doctor, a herbalist, a therapist. I saw Craig join in, and I wanted to show you this. Craig, God has showed me you already. Financial. You're going to be doing something with financial wellness with our men. Fitness. Tracy, your name is already there. Art therapy. Angelique's name is already there. We got a pet therapy. We're going to have an author's exchange. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. I'm not even going to go no further. I'm not even going any further. Of some things that I know within this center. So what I ask is that you pray for Antoinette Marie Williams, that God will continue to make it clearer. It's clear. Believe me, it's clear. And it's so broad that it's going to take so much more than me to get this done. And I also ask you to know that you can be a part of this. You can be a part of this, this center. And if you have a name for this, I think I'm open. You can just shoot me an email of a name that you think. So I am going to leave you with this. It's good to have a lot of things, but mental wellness is priority. You can have as many coats and cars and purses and shoes as you like, but if you don't have a well mind, none of that matters. As Miss Chesley showed us, she was sitting on top of the world from the outside looking in. But on the inside, she was hurting. On the inside, she was hurting. So whether you are going through depression, I like to say going through versus suffering, because we speak what we want. So I don't say suffer. So whether you're going through depression, whether it's anxiety, whatever it is, I want to first say that God can do anything. But when you ask God, and God might say you need to go to a counselor or a therapist, then you need to go. And again, I'm going to say the National Suicide Prevention number is 1-800-273-8255. If you know someone, hey, just send it out there. If you want to share this video, share it. If you want to just take the 800 number and put it out there, you post it, whatever you feel that God is leading you to do or that you want to do that. Can we show people kindness every single day? Have a smile on your face. Show somebody random acts of kindness, and your mental health is real. Don't let anybody tell you that you're just a little upset. No. Depression, whether it's hyperfunction or high functioning depression, that's real. Regular depression is real. So I love you, and I appreciate you staying on with me for an extra 20 minutes. I really, truly believe that this is the season that nothing is in the box anymore with God. God just is looking for some willing individuals that know and are convinced of who they are. And I believe that you are convinced of not only who you are, but whose you belong to. I'm going to need you to really do some, as my grandmother would say, put some hot sauce on some of them prayers, right? I appreciate you for being here and staying on. And I want you to have a fantastic and awesome rest of your week. And I will see you on Sunday for Bridging the Nations. And remember, love is not just something that you say. It is what you do. Love is what you demonstrate as well as what you say. Love on one another. I pray that you have wholeness, wellness, and wealth, but I want you to have peace on the inside. I love you, and be well. Take care.
Hello, beloved. This is Antoinette Marie. I believe that every one of us is born with a purpose. No matter who you are, what you do, or how far you think you have to go, you have been tapped by a force greater than yourself to step into your God-given calling. And I also believe that each one of us has an essential role in the whole of humanity. You see, the purpose of me creating Antoinette Marie Speaks is to offer the wisdom of experience from visionaries, artists, teachers, and trailblazers who have walked this road before you and who have shared their inspiration and lessons with me. So let's go. Let's take this journey together and let's discover the purpose for